As Ambrosians, we are committed to academic excellence, liberal arts, social justice, and service. That was a snippet of Ambrosian's mission statement. As we started St. Ambrose as first years, we were thrown into this mission statement. Not even 2 days after moving into campus, we go into the community and urban plunge. According to this survey, many of you have not volunteered in the last year. So I want you to understand that volunteering is good for the people that you are helping at that moment, but also good for you. Volunteering gives you a sense of belonging, allows you to learn new things, and to be more aware. I would like to explain the importance volunteering has on people through my experience from my service trip to the Appalachian area in Kentucky. I decided to go on this trip on a whim, just like I usually decide things before my irrational fears can infect my brain. But I was very nervous because I'm very shy and I was going to go on this on my own. But I needed to do this because I needed to go out of my comfort zone. This whole trip was going out of my comfort zone. New people, new place, new things I would have to learn. In the area we were going in Kentucky was probably the most beautiful area I've ever seen. Like the mountains, so beautiful. But it wasn't known for the beautiful mountains. It was known for the poor, stricken area. Boonville Police Chief says we have loggers, coal producers, we have educators, local businesses, and people in the arts. And we also have the same problems they have in every other community. Saying that this might be a poor, stricken area, but we are still like any other community. In this trip, I went in a group with St. Ambrose, but we also we met 3 other colleges groups. And in this program, we were separated into repairing homes. Before we started building, our group leader told us something that I will carry throughout my life. No matter if you have a small job like holding a cord out of the mud, or a big job like building a porch, you are helping. I learned that I could do things like hammer a nail, mix concrete, install windows. Yeah, I installed windows. It was pretty cool. I learned that I was okay if I stepped out of my comfort zone. I learned about empathy through Mrs. Lorraine. Mrs. Lorraine was the owner of the house we were fixing, and I absolutely loved her. She was so kind and appreciative. I spent half of my time talking to her. Hey, my leader said, small things help. And I learned about the culture of the Appalachian area by eating food to listening to folk music. I learned the importance that culture has on this community. The ability to let yourself to be uncomfortable in order to make a stranger feel comfortable is very important in life. In your futures, you will have moments that you are going to be uncomfortable in your careers. But you have to push through that uncomfortableness in order to further on your career. That is the same thing that happens in volunteering. Dr. Elizabeth Lombardo, therapist and author of Better Than Perfect, said, breaking your own mold can only make you stronger and more confident to reach higher levels in your professional and personal life. Before Kentucky, like I said, I was very shy. I'm still shy, but with a hint of newfound confidence. I built a house. If that doesn't help you make confidence, I don't know what will. I also learned about empathy. As kids, we were taught empathy through the metaphors such as standing in someone else's shoes or seeing in someone else's eyes. In Kentucky, I experienced empathy through someone else's stories. For hours, Mrs. Lorraine would tell me stories of how she grew up in the very house I was sitting in. She told me how she had to walk miles to school and how she made sure her children didn't have to do that. She told me how when her husband died, she wanted to give up, and how she feels guilty that she didn't make her children move out of town. As we go in our lives, we form new relationships, just like I formed a new relationship with Mrs. Lorraine. Relationships such as significant others, friendships, or just your neighbor. To form these relationships, you have to have formed a sense of empathy to one another. Former U.S. President Barack Obama spoke of the need to fill the empathy deficit in the world. On August 11, 2006, he said, "You know, there's a lot of talk about federal deficit, but I think we should talk about our empathy deficit, the ability to put ourselves in someone else's shoes, to see the world through the eyes of those who are different from us, the child who's hungry, the steelworker who is laid off, and the family who lost everything when the storm came to town. When you think like this, you choose to broaden your ambit of concern and empathize with the plight of others, whether they are close friends or distant strangers. It becomes harder not to act, harder not to help. As like that long quote said, we have to empathize to your neighbors, just like you'll empathize to your significant others or your close friends. According to my survey, not many of you have been on service trips, so you might not understand how learning new cultures in this way. But you don't have to experience learning this type of culture by going on service trips. You can volunteer around our community. During the summer, I was an event intern for Gilda's Club QC. Gilda's Club is a place where cancer patients and survivors can go for free programs if they so choose. And I was very grateful that I had the chance to help with an event called Ride for the Cure. And this event was for motorcyclists, and they go and ride to different stops and then donate money to Gilda's Club. Before, I only had one thought when it comes to motorcyclists: annoying. Every time I'm driving past them, or like they speed past me, I swear under my breath because I don't want to hit them or I'm scared for them, I guess. But after seeing more than 100 motorcyclists coming together for the same reason, it gave me a new light to the motorcyclist culture. Okay. Just like in Kentucky, I learned about the culture of Appalachian area. And in my hand, that's not a beer bottle, that's a soda bottle. And that was actually a soda that's only in that area. So this program helped us find new cultures by having different people come and present to us or give us pop and food. And volunteering changes people's lives, but not many people know that change goes two ways. I have learned to appreciate these things through the years of my volunteering. In the Quad Cities, there are so many nonprofits that need volunteers who are willing to be uncomfortable, who want to learn new things, and who are available to comfort those in need. Like my group leader said in Kentucky, no matter how small the job, you are helping, you are making a difference. And remember that volunteering can change the lives of others, but it can change yours too.